Ask anyone who the best hip-hop group of all time is, and if they're a Zoomer, they'll probably say Brockhampton. But a lot of people will say Wu-Tang Clan or NWA, though for the sake of this video, let's just say it's Wu-Tang Clan because it's in the title. Plus, this year marks the 25th anniversary of Enter the Wu-Tang, or 36 Chambers, which means it's the perfect time to talk about them. They truly were an amazing group, the antithesis to the cleaner and higher production value of the West Coast. Wu-Tang Clan had a gritty, underground feel, and the way they blended that style with the kung fu aesthetic was just so different and fun. Not to mention their wordplay was top tier. They truly were the lyrical masters of the 36 Chambers, and it shows in how influential they were to East Coast rap and how quotable they are to this day. Let me stop there though, because this isn't a video about why Wu-Tang Clan is so good. I'm sure someone has done a video about it that's way better than anything I can do. Wu-Tang was more than music though. They had a comic, RZA scored and directed movies, and the group had their own video game, which is why we're here. First things first, I'm going to try and elaborate on the history of the game. I say try because there isn't that much information about the development or even how it came to be. I even dug up some old reviews of the game to see if they might have talked about how Wu-Tang Clan ended up having a game, but still no dice. So I'll just talk about what I do know. The PS2 might be known as a system with too many games with too many random titles, but the PS1 was no slouch, especially since 3D games were still in its infancy. It was the wild west out there. I mean, like, what even is 40 Winks? Anyway, I did find some articles from 1999 that announced Activision and Wu-Tang Clan were partnering up for a game. So it could have been as simple as wanting to partner up with this extremely popular group for a new game. And this might have been the best way for Activision to test out that brand new fighting engine they got when they acquired Virgin Entertainment. And to top it all off, this would actually be the first game officially released using this engine, since the other game that was going to use it was cancelled due to it being too violent. Which is kind of funny considering what we have now, and I'm pretty sure Mortal Kombat was already a thing. This all seems plausible, so that's the story I'm sticking to, unless someone actually shows me some facts or something, then my bad. But enough about that, you're probably wondering what the gameplay is all about. So the best way to describe the gameplay of Shaolin Style is that it's Power Stone but rooted in a fighting game. I would say that Rave Master game for the GameCube, but I'm pretty sure no one played it. So remember when I said that this game was going to be used on a new engine? Well, the whole draw of it, as far as I could tell, is that you can have a deep fighting game, but you can do it with 4 players. You get 4 buttons for your hands and your feet, as well as a crouch button. This allowed for a lot of variety and combos that could be used as if this was Virtua Fighter or Tekken. And the cool thing was, like I said, is that you can have all this while brawling with more than 2 players. Go ahead, you can clap now. And for all intents and purposes, it does what it sets out to do. Does the fighting feel as fluid as Tekken or Virtua Fighter? God no, it feels more like Mortal Kombat, and I swear to you that's not a diss to Mortal Kombat. The combos are queued up, meaning you don't have to wait for the animation to press the button, which really trips me up sometimes, especially when there's a difference between right to X and right plus X. And add to that the fact that the clan themselves are pretty different with varying fighting styles, it's pretty hard not to just regress into a lower form of human and button mash. And then you add to that the fact that some of the moves have some weird button combinations. Like, why is Inspector Deck's weak mid-attack circle plus square plus triangle? It's all weird, dude. Of course, you can always head to the training area and try to figure all that stuff out for yourself. And as the cherry on top, or like the cream on the pie, there is no button to change who you're fighting as far as I could tell. The way it works is that whenever you get near someone, it automatically locks you onto that person, which is obviously annoying to say the least. The game then draws even more comparisons to Mortal Kombat by having fatalities, but it's way easier in this game. Instead of having a button combination, you just have to hit the last button you press for the final blow, which means that there are 4 fatalities per character, which is pretty cool. Well, that is if you do have the parental lock off. So you know how I said the original game that was going to use this new engine got cancelled because it was too violent? Well, this probably spooked Activision, and in an effort to avoid both the troublesome situation of getting your game cancelled and not censoring all the blood and gore, the developers just put it all behind a parental lock. The only way to get rid of this lock was by putting in a cheat conveniently placed on the back of the manual into the cheat menu that showed up when you started the game. I'm also pretty sure this is like the only game that has the cheat menu come up as soon as you turn on the game. As for what the parental lock does, it removes the blood, and instead of a fatality, they just do a lame fade out, which I can't stress enough is pretty lame. Like, it happens and boom, do you want a rematch? No theatrics, no windscreen, no nothing. So that's pretty much it for the gameplay, but you might be wondering how the members of the Wu-Tang Clan play, so let's jump into it.
we roll, then attack the globe with the buckets, style, the rockets. Had hit since I sing Aunt Mabel. Be doing all the sin like Cain did Abel. Now they money's getting stuck to the gum under the table.
Right off the bat, RZA and GZA show that there is no real balance in this game as they both have fast, spammable weapons. RZA has his dual swords and GZA has that blade chain thingy. Oh, wait, actually it's a blade attached to a microphone. GZA can poke you to death because his range is kinda unfair, and RZA's swords are way too quick and his launcher is even quicker. Meanwhile, Ghostface Killah shows that there is no balance, just like in the other way. He's actually garbage. His fighting style is kind of like Jack's, except without the gap clearer, and Ghostface is way slower. Good luck actually hitting your best moves because they're slower than trudging through the snow when you forgot your shovel and your best friend leaves you to die in the forest because he wants your life. That's a situation that can happen in real life, right? Look, I just want to hit my ground pound and it's driving me nuts. And it's forward then square, not forward plus square, and I can't do it reliably for some reason. I wouldn't play him unless you hate yourself, since being slow in a game where all the characters are pretty fast is a death sentence. ODB is the drunken fighter for obvious reasons, and he's one of my favorites. Falling on the ground, loopy fighting, you know how it goes. Honestly though, he's a lot more subdued than other drunken fighters are. Raekwon the Chef is the other member who fills the role of a strong melee character, just like Ghostface, but he's a shadow boxer. He's also my second favorite because he can just dash in, get off some slick jabs, and then get out. He also has probably the best combo potential, and if I was good, I could show you more than 6 hits. Well, that is unless you're trying to switch your stance, because that only works like half the time. Method Man has a hammer, like a big old hammer. Is there anything else you need to know about Method Man? Do you see how the ground ripples? Next. Inspector Deck mastered the crane style, or some form of Afro karate, or the style of channeling lightning like in The Last Airbender. Everything that could be said about Raekwon could apply here, though Deck has more launchers. It really comes down to who you like or what style you like more, and he has that absolutely dumb mid attack. Master Killer is the one where they took his name literally. He's a ninja with the sword, or is it like a big dagger? Ninja does as ninja does, and he has a lot of flips and such. It's pretty flashy, but you'll probably just be spamming knives because it's real easy. Last but not least, we have U-God, who has learned from Sagat and now knows the way of Muay Thai, though I couldn't help but feel that he's just Raekwon with more knees and shoulders. His taunt is pretty funny though. There are more characters in the game, but we only care about the 9 disciples, and I was too lazy to put in the cheat to unlock all the characters when I was playing this. Plus, I have a sneaking suspicion that they just copy movesets anyway. Also, no, Capadonna isn't in the game because he wasn't a member yet. Now, enough of all that silly gameplay. What we're actually here for is the story of a Wu-Tang Clan fighting game. Well, first of all, it's weird, and the voice acting complements this in the best kind of way. But the actual story is pretty simple. The Wu-Tang Clan's teacher was kidnapped and tortured by his rival for the secrets of the Wu-Tang Clan, and now the group has to go save him. What surprised me is that you actually have to go to the fights. I just assumed it automatically puts you into them. The movement feels eerily similar to Tomb Raider, but that just might be the tank controls talking. At the end of the day though, there's no real reason for it. You just stand in an alleyway or a circle and go to where you need to go, which is only like a couple steps away. What I also want to note is that the difficulty spike is offensive. It took all of 3 fights for me to hit a wall. I thought it would be funny to play as Method Man and just use his hammers, but it was not cutting it. So I had to switch to RZA. Well, after I switched to U-God, but that wasn't working either. And then it was real easy, because Master Killer is actually an amazing teammate. But anyway, difficulty is probably the theme of this story. Random things will feel borderline impossible, and I feel the only reason I was able to beat some stuff was because of pure luck. It's infuriating. Like, the story mode for this game annoyed me to no end on that front. There was one time where I had to protect Raekwon and I just got destroyed. And then the next time I tried it, the enemies literally did not block, not even once. Then there was that one mission where I had to survive for 2 minutes, which I thought would be easy, but it turns out that if you get caught, you're done. And 2 minutes is way too long if those are the rules. I don't have all my attempts on camera, but I did record when I finally beat it, and it was due to pure luck and backdashing. A whole lot of backdashing. I know I'm bad at this game, but some stages just made me feel brain dead. Back to the story though, the Wu-Tang Clan's master gets killed and his skin cut off because it turns out that he had the secrets tattooed on his skin, Golden Kamui style. After that, the Wu-Tang Clan comes in, kills the rival, and gets out. And that's basically it. It's a real quick story and it seems to encourage you to try and beat it with all the characters. The biggest gate for this though are the 36 chambers. While you're fighting, you'll unlock different chambers for things such as blocking 5 times in a row or avoiding enemies for a certain amount of time. You need to unlock all 36 to even fight the final boss, who'll just beat you up a bunch of times. At the very least, you do get collectibles for the chambers, so there is more than one reason to unlock them. When I've gone over pretty much everything this game has to offer, what else is there to talk about? Well, imaginary viewer, there is still the soundtrack. It's Wu-Tang Clan music, what else would you expect? There are 3 songs that are original to the game, and by original I mean Lucy's from the group, which is what I imagine they are. Not to say that they're bad or anything, that's just what it seems like. It's also cool how you can put the game in your old CD player and just listen to the music, though a lot of PS1 games did that. In other sound-related business, the voice acting is kinda funny. Certain moves trigger voice clips and you'll hear them a lot, since they seem to be tied to the best moves. RZA saying Soul Selection is still ringing in my ears. And with that, we have finally gone through Wu-Tang Shaolin Style, and is this the first time I'm saying the title of the game? Anyway, if you sat through this whole video, I really appreciate it, and if you somehow liked the video, be sure to leave a comment or like and subscribe. It'll help a lot, but for now, have a good day.